Before we do anything else, though,
Yep.
the man across the room,
Yes.
got the forecast,
Yes.
the all-important forecast, Robert Hahn.
Yeah, and it's an improvement today over what we've seen over the past couple of days. It may not look like it if you look out the window right now. We've got some low clouds, some fog, but later on today, it looks like we will see a bit of sunshine. It may be an isolated shower or two, but most of us will remain dry as we head through the afternoon and evening hours. Current temperature is a mix of some 50s and some 60s, 52 in Wadena, 55 Detroit Lake, 61 here in Fargo, also 61 degrees up in Thief River Falls. So we do have some drizzle around, some fog around. That will be burning off as we head through the next couple of hours. Some isolated showers as we head through the afternoon and evening hours. But again, most of us will remain dry. Should see a little bit of sunshine in most areas by the end of the day, warming up into the mid-70s. Tomorrow, more sunshine and temperatures in the low 80s. But then we've got some stormy weather that moves in for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday, looks like we could see some severe weather. We may have some severe weather also on Saturday. And as we head through your Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, heavy rain becomes an issue once again as well. I'll have to keep an eye on that. Flooding may become a problem as we head through your Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with a lot of rain coming out of some of these storms.
Mother Nature's making it a little more difficult to get the tan on.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. It was really misty this morning. You know, what we've noticed when I was driving back from our story that we were out on this morning.
Yeah.
Not very fun.
Oh, well, it'll improve, right, Robert?
Eventually it'll improve.
It
Well,
has
the next
to.
couple of days, not too bad.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Well, I don't know if you saw this morning.
A little bit. I was pretty busy, but you were zooming.
Oh my gosh,
Fast?
I feel like I'm still have a little bit of the adrenaline running through me. So the Norman County Fair starts
Yes.
this evening,
Yes.
and it goes until Saturday. And earlier, I got a ride on a race car this morning. There's a picture of
Awesome.
me sitting in there, gripping onto the wheel tightly, might I add, because
That is so cool.
it got up to 80 miles per hour.
Who was with you on the other side?
That was Jade Bitker, and he is with Norman County Raceway, and he was very nice. You know, calmed me down before we left, but then of course, you know, stepped on the gas a little bit to thrill me while we were going around the track.
So, how fast were you going?
It got up to 80 on some of those corners, and that was pretty
really?
scary because it's on a dirt track, so you have a lot
Right.
of the sliding, which we're used to in the winter time around here. But
Not going 80. Well, some of us go 80.
well, hopefully, I'm hoping
Just
you
kidding.
don't.
Just kidding.
But the fair has so many events going on. You know, they have lots of kids, kiddie rides there from the big Thomas Carnival going on, as well as the raceway. They're going to have the 4-H has lots of livestock shows, and then the grand finale is going to be fireworks. If you're looking to jump in early on your 4th of July fireworks,
Yeah, and a
Saturday
parade.
night, yeah, parade, a little kiddie pageant as well. I mean, they were just talking my ear off this morning. It was a lot of fun.
So back to that picture. Were you both driving? Who had the gas?
No, he had the gas and the brakes,
Oh.
thankfully. You know, they just gave me the steering wheel because they said it's nice to have something to hold on to. And he said, don't grab my arm. As long as you don't
Wow.
grab my arm, that way we won't crash.
Don't grab my arm.
And I made the mistake of asking him, too, before we took off. I said, you know, have you ever had accidents? And
Oh,
he
no.
kind of gave me the look, so I said, okay, we won't talk about that till after we go.
Afterward, not live.
Yes.
Yeah, well, it's a legit question.
Yeah. Well, and you know, you get kind of nervous, and as they strapped me in and we sat there longer, your adrenaline kind of gets going and your mind
Really?
kind of gets going, but it was a lot of fun. And
That's
I think,
awesome.
you know, the fair's in Ada, Minnesota, and I think I'm going to have to go again. They were very friendly.
I mean, you know, your average person cannot climb into that car with the race car drivers, so you're kind
No.
of lucky you work here.
Yeah.
You get to do fun things
yes,
like that.
it was so much fun. And that's what someone actually had tweeted at me. They're like, oh, you get to do the funnest things. And I was like,
Yes,
all part
I
of the
do.
job.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, go jump into a fire suit and into a race car.
So, you know, Bob Dylan from Minnesota, born in Duluth, but raised in Hibbing. I always want to say he was born in Hibbing, but no, raised there. A manuscript. Do we have a picture of this? I guess this is the, it's the world record for a popular music manuscript. It sold for $2 million at an auction in New York.
I
That
wish
is
I could make
wild.
something like that and sell it for $2 million.
I know. It's like a Rolling Stone. It's a draft. It's written in pencil. There you go, on 4 sheets of paper, a hotel letterhead. It's got the revisions and the additions and all sorts of notes and doodles. No one knows who the buyer is, but wow.
And pictures. I mean, his original handwriting and itself and seeing all of his notes, I'm sure that someone who is a huge Dylan fan would probably pay. I guess if you had $2 million in your pocket. That's
Oh
something that
yeah,
you would-
we have a cool $2 million sitting, you know, in the bank, just waiting to be spent somewhere.
Oh, I don't know if I'd spend it on lyrics. I think I would buy a big dream closet that you always see.
Yeah. I'm not
Maybe
sure what I
not
would
lyrics,
do with it.
maybe
I'm
not.
sure.
But have you ever accidentally left up your Facebook page on your work computer and someone types something? You know, Robert Hahn usually would be the person who would jump in and type something
Yeah.
silly on your status.
I try to close mine down, but I don't know if this was a cry for help or it was an accident. I don't know.
I'm guessing it was an accident because there was a person who, you know, tried to go into a home and steal
Yep.
some items and left.
Yeah.
Homeowners noticed a whole bunch of things missing, and there's a picture of him. He accidentally left up his Facebook page on the homeowner's computers.
Yeah, as he's robbing this home, he decides to log on and to his Facebook account, left his profile up. So that's what I don't, you know what I mean? Is it a cry for help? He did it on purpose or accidentally? You
I don't know.
Robbers aren't always known as being
Rhonda, what do you think?
I don't want to say the words I'm really thinking, but let's just say he's not the sharpest tool.
brightest bulb in the
shed.
pack.
Not the brightest crayon in the box.
It must have made it easy, though, for police, especially for the homeowners to stumble across that. I mean, they must have, you know, tried to look on their computer to see if financial information was taken off of there and just notice,
Hey, wait a minute. Here's the guy.
Who is this logged on to
Nicholas
Facebook?
Wig. That's his name.
and now he's being charged, and he could actually face up to 10 years in jail.
Right, dude. You
That's
know,
sad. They don't
yeah,
give you
it is.
Facebook in jail either, so
No.
he won't be logging on for a long time.
No Facebook.
Kristi, what is he going to do? Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I don't think they give it to you. Okay, so this next one, would you do this?
Yes.
People
Oh, definitely.
in Utah are jumping off a 50-foot cliff into the Utah lake.
Yes.
And just one after another, thrill
It's
seekers.
a big, mighty slip and slide.
that.
And then that's a 50-foot drop going into there.
Oh, my
I think it looks
gosh.
totally fun. I would do it. They said these are professionals doing it, of course. You know, you shouldn't
Are
just,
they?
just that's what they had
Well,
mentioned. that-
maybe.
I like the girl
That would
riding
be me.
the whale.
That would be me in the water.
Supervising at the bottom.
Exactly. Or in the boat, possibly.
No, I definitely would do this. I think it sounds like a whole bunch of fun. I always wanted to slip and slide when I was younger. We did the water on the trampoline and
Look
stuff
at their,
like that.
they're
But
posing as they slide. I mean, I'm gonna get a slip and slide for my son in the backyard, but yikes.
probably not 50-foot drop.
No. It might stretch across 50
Would
feet
you
in the
do
yard.
that though? Would you go
I
and
don't
drop?
know. Maybe.
I would just be screaming down the hallway.
Exactly.
Too.
I would.
I think you'd have to. But if you're in that area and you have a group of friends and you have this opportunity, I think you'd have to say
Yeah.
do it.
Maybe. Because I would need to know the depth of the water because anything can happen. I would need to know how close the rocks are to the edge. I would need to strategize ahead of time.
I think
I know.
You're hesitating a little more. I
Dorky.
think I would do it and then afterwards think, wow, I was lucky nothing bad happened.
Yeah.
I didn't think that through.
I know. Rhonda? Rhonda's laughing over there.
I can't swim very well, so I'm not taking a plunge into anybody's lake off of anyone's 50-foot slide. I'm just not happening.
Rhonda would be at the bottom of the
I'll be at the
floaty,
bottom.
So you guys
I'll
would
be
be
in the
down
floaty.
there.
Boat. We would
I will be in the
supervise.
floaty, or I'll be in,
I'll
in
wear
the
the
water in the
GoPro
boat.
cam on my head and I'll slide down. We'll get some other people to high five us on the way down.
This is why she's in the race cars in the morning. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, this one's cool too. A family went camping in California 2 years ago. Their dog ran off. They searched, they put posters up, they alerted everyone in the area, put it on Facebook, made a certain account, and then they sort of figured that he was lost.
Yeah.
Well, 2 years later, another camper must have seen one of the posters and they said, hey, I think this is your dog. And so, they tried to get the dog to come back. This camper did, and it didn't work. So finally, the owners took their clothing and the dog's bed and gave it to the camper and said, maybe this will lure the dog back.
Yeah.
And it worked.
And the dog lived out in the wilderness for 2 years. I mean, to be gone for 2 years and trying to survive, out
Yeah.
there. I know that their animal instincts kick in, but to still know that they still knew your scent 2 years later
Yeah.
and would come back to you. And I watched the story and the dog just looks so happy to be reunited, and it just
know.
seems like
And thin, and not quite doing as well as it should be, but still it survived.
Yeah.
And it was Tahoe, National Forest, so the article talks about it being cold and different. I mean, you cannot survive alone in the winter there. So he must have somehow gotten some food and jumped into somebody's garage. Somebody fed him. I don't know.
And now they also put one of those chips inside of him. So in case something happens, now they'll be able to track him next time in case he runs off again, which I know I've heard a lot about those.
Little Murphy runs off. Okay.
Well, I don't know if you saw this.
I did.
Yeah. I think, you know, when you always hear someone's coming to town or on their way back or forth, you know how people line up in the streets.
Yes, yes, yes.
Well, a family brought, her name is Roberta. They didn't get her last name, but she is handicapped and has to breathe on a machine.
She's disabled.
Noticed the Pope was coming through, and they held up signs, I guess, asking him to stop to bless her.
Yeah. And it was a motorcade, the Pope in Italy, southern Italy, I believe. And yeah, you're right. They held the signs up, and he stopped. And if you can just hear a little bit of this. Do we have audio? No audio? Anyway, people are saying, you know, bravo and grazie, and he's blessing her and kissing her. And
you can just hear the emotion in the family's voice, too. I mean, they were just so thankful that he took the time to stop and get out of the car and do this. And someone, of course, sneaks their baby in there to be blessed.
That would be me. Kiss my son, bless my son. Yeah, I think it's so cool. You have to see, if you can look the video up. It's really so awesome because it's you know, he's the Pope. He's the Pope and he's stopping.
Yeah. Well, they always, I've heard a lot of good things about Pope Francis, and I know that people always say he's so generous and so humble, and for him to make sure that the car stopped to do that for them, it's just.
I know. What a blessing. All right, there's a lot coming up. So Bismarck is talking about at what age should you allow your child to be home alone? And then we are getting crafty today, and we're cooking.
I know. Crafts and cooking, those are my favorite things to do, is to eat and also make crafts. So I'm really excited, especially when one of those crafts are something that you can use at home, guests can use when they're over, not ruin your coffee table.
Exactly. Some coasters. We'll be talking about bitters, maybe mixing up a little cocktail. And then our Scotch eggs with Chef Chris from Monty's and the boiler room.
Those sound just delicious. I can't wait to take the recipe home.
I know. So stay with us. We've got a whole lot coming up in this hour. And stay close. Bismarck is next.